Douglas, we've had Super Tuesday. Nikki Haley has finally backed out of the race. It's, as we expected, Trump v Biden. What do you think that means for the rest of the world? The conflict in Ukraine, the conflict in Gaza, China's aggression. I know this is not an easy question, but you're about the only person who could give us a meaningful answer.
Of course, in some ways, going to be absolutely fascinating. In other ways, quite depressing to have a rerun of 2020 again. But you know, here we are. It'll be very interesting. I think the thing to watch out for is and we know pretty much what Biden's policies are going to be. He's been running on them for the last 4 years. We know the sort of direction of travel. I think the interesting thing to watch out will be what Trump says, of course, on the campaign trail. Because whatever people think of him as a candidate, he does actually try to stick to the broad outline of what he's promised in the run, in all of those stadium events and others that he'll be enjoying doing in the months ahead. If he does start to make noises about Ukraine, I think you could sort of pretty much believe them. And the same with the Middle East. China, of course, is for Trump a very important issue, and it's important because he's the politician who changed the weather on China. In not just the States, but in the world. He took an extremely unpopular position in regarding China as the hostile competitor that it is, at a time when everyone else was just wanting to hoover up the Chinese money on offer. It'll be very interesting to watch him on this issue, because he has actually tilted not just the Republican Party, but the Democrats too on the China issue. So if he decides to run on it in a more hawkish direction, that'll definitely be worth noting. Beijing will note it, as will other allies and potential rivals and enemies around the world.
Now, before you go, it's clear now that the Republican Party is Trump's party. I think there's little doubt about that. What does that mean for America, and what does that mean for politicians in the UK, perhaps here in Australia, who have ignored their base? I think what's happened with this Trump phenomenon is entirely because of the GOP for so many years saying one thing to win power, and then when they have that power, behaving entirely differently.
Yes, I mean, I think that the Trumpification of the Republican Party is obviously, you know, if at a conclusion in a way. The party has done everything it can to try to replace him, and it just hasn't worked. Even him sitting out all the debates just got him a bigger and bigger lead. Every indictment against him gets him a bigger and bigger lead. I think that the challenge for the party is that so many people, and it's the same for conservatives and others abroad who have said critical things about Trump. There has been a rush to say as many negative things about Trump as possible, for lots of reasons, many of them just well-founded, based in people's analysis of his character. On other occasions, as with some conservative politicians abroad, totally futilely, just to sort of insult him and to gain some virtue points with their and his opponents. The problem for them all is that Trump really doesn't forget that sort of stuff. I was speculating last night with some people that I think it's going to be very interesting if he does win, and the polls currently show that he would in a runoff against Biden. It's a big question of how he fills the administration, how he fills positions. It was pretty tough last time after the 2016 win. I think it'll be very tough this time, unless there's some kind of pax in the Republican Party and people who previously badmouthed Trump are allowed back in by him and they agree to serve. It's going to be a very interesting juncture. We've never quite been here before.
And I wonder if he's going to remember some of the nasty things politicians around the world have said about him, including members of the Albanese government right here in Australia. We've had senior ministers be very foolish in tweeting things and saying things, mouthing off to appeal to the Twitter base, and I think that's going to come back to haunt them, because he does tend to remember those jibes. Douglas Murray, always a pleasure. Thank you so much for your time this evening.
Great pleasure. Thank you.